Hey there! What are you going to have for dinner tonight? Maybe pasta? Vegetable curry? Perhaps leftovers from yesterday? How are you going to get the right produce? What if you could get the vegetables from the garden in your community that you help to build, and where you are collectively learning about gardening and maintaining? Any other groceries you need, you can buy in the nearby store that sells locally sourced and sustainably grown products. You have now collected all the fresh products you need, so you prepare a lovely dinner and are enjoying it with bird sounds in the background. The weather outside is beautiful, so you decide to take a stroll through the near forest. It is thriving with all different kinds of plants, insects and animals. Every day you find at least one new species you have never seen before. Sounds nice, right? We think so too. We believe this is a future that can be achieved by developing novel ways of producing crops through transformation pathways. We are focusing on further developing the SDGs 2, Zero Hunger, 4, Quality Education, 15, Life on Land, and 17, Global Partnerships in a national as well as global context. For the national context, we are looking at the country Colombia. We have combined these SDGs into one human activity, which is agriculture. One part of that is crop production, which is of great importance and the foundation for the entire food supply. With increasing soil degradation, accelerated loss of biodiversity, continuous deforestation, and globally increasing food demand, it is more important than ever to develop a sustainable form of crop production. The current agricultural system consists of a combination of huge industrial monocultures in the global north and small-scale farmers suffering from poverty in the global south. The agricultural sector, and mainly large-scale farms, is responsible for causing detrimental environmental impacts. However, as many global and national initiatives are trying to show, there is a lot of potential for change. Colombia is one of the leading countries in Latin America in SDG implementation due to a highly active participation of the private and public sectors. Colombia is also one of the most biodiverse countries in the world, which exports goods such as coffee, bananas, nuts and flowers. But still, many challenges remain to achieve the SDG goals in time. Food insecurity is still at 23.5%. Higher education tuition fees are still too expensive. Colombia suffers from permanent deforestation and the rich biodiversity is at risk. National initiatives such as Platos Sin Fronteras are trying to address the current issues by offering nutrition education and innovation programs to the most vulnerable communities. But for ideas like this to become more mainstream and flourish, a lot of change is still necessary within the agricultural sector and society. The solution is complex, but there is tremendous potential for Colombia which can flourish in our two developed pathways. Our first pathway focuses on improving nutritional value of crops through science-based evaluations and increasing crop yields. This is done on regular-sized and large farms. In agricultural intensification, the yields of existing agricultural land are increased sustainably, while the impact on the environment is reduced. This is part of the land-sparing approach, which separates land for conservation from land for crop production. Following from that, biodiversity conservation and species protection is thriving, while crop production is optimized. Aspects of agricultural efficiency include the optimization of plant characteristics, the efficient use of water and space, as well as fertilizer and nutrients. To increase the production efficiency, genetic editing is useful. Given the limited time to achieve the agenda for 2030, the CRISPR technology should be adopted, which is a technology that introduces changes to the plant's DNA. One example is the production of high iron and zinc beans to fight deficiencies. The second aspect of efficiency is the optimized use of water and space. Vertical farming can be a solution especially in urban areas and aims to increase productivity in unused spaces. Further efficiency-based practices to be implemented are food forests, hydroponic farms, and biofortification. By improving yields and nutrients through science-based approaches, less land might be used for crop production, resulting in more space for nature and biodiversity. Our second pathway focuses on supporting and establishing small-scale farms in rural communities by educating and spreading awareness. It combines social approaches, community-level education, and climate-smart solutions. The support for this pathway should focus on two different points. First, on people who already run farms, and second, on people who own land in rural areas and can start farms. This can also be seen from a community aspect, where people work together on small-scale farms to share the responsibilities instead of managing everything independently. The overall means to achieve self-sufficient farming is education. If people are to be better educated on self-sufficient farming and climate-smart solutions, support can be tailored to specific areas, considering local problems and necessities. The goal for farmers in rural areas is self-sufficiency, but the focus is also on selling local products by connecting producers with consumers in the cities. Overproduction resulting from the farmers' achievements can be sold to urban markets and restaurants. This avoids food waste and benefits the farmers' income. This pathway also focuses on increasing appreciation for food. Education should include how food is grown, which nutrients are inherent, and how nature in the biodiverse landscape helps to improve life quality. In the end, education about nature builds up awareness and appreciation for it, and the service people can gain from their surroundings. The possibilities in Colombia are endless, but are affected by violent aspects. Political difficulties are found in topics of land ownership, illicit crop production, rural poverty, guerrilla wars, and public protests. These are pressing issues in Colombia and affect governmental support and public awareness of agrarian reform projects. For the suggested pathways to work and to flourish during the coming 8.5 years, all actors must combine their interests and work together. The short time frame calls for immediate action of legal agreements, government support, peace coalitions, and international funding to implement research and education schemes. It is not expected that all tensions will be resolved before achieving the 2030 agenda, but responsibility must be taken. Only if relationships and desires of the society are taken seriously and are managed better, the suggested pathways can be adopted properly in the connected areas and unfold their potential. Agriculture is one of the oldest and most important industries in the world, and it is something we cannot live without. Unfortunately, many problems arise from modern ways of farming. Transformation is key if we want to reach a future where you will only read about malnutrition, illiteracy, and ecological destruction in history books.